And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foss. I'm touching base with you as I do every day. I love that sound. Too bad I have to change it. I love that intro. I love that intro. But for some reason, I got the intro from YouTube and it's still a problem. Okay, so I have to have, if anyone knows a musician that would like to do an intro pro bono, it would be great. I would definitely welcome a nice, and that's a nice intro. And for some reason, I got it from YouTube, and they said we no problem, but yet there's still a problem. So anyway, doesn't matter. I'm not monetizing, so it's all good. So well, it was Super Bowl Sunday weekend, and we're going to talk about that. But first of all, let's say hello to some folks. First person in the building is Good Morning Fly, Eagles Fly. Is Anthony Rowland? He's in the building. Jazzy's in the building. She says, good morning, beautiful people. And then we have the wonderful Chris R. She says, good morning. Yes, and we have the wonderful Elise. Good morning, everyone, she says. And if anybody wants to come on, let me know. I will definitely send you for those that are already members, subscribers and that are here regular, I can send that out to you. But also I can also put the link onto this QR code and you can come on. Hey, Danette Williams, good morning, everyone. She says, starting the day with a smile. It is a new day, y'all. It is a new day. Bryson says, what's up, Ron? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Happy money making Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Can't you hear the cheers? Can't you hear the cheers? Kelly A says, good morning, everyone. And Miss G is in the building. She says, good morning. So if any of you want to pop on, let me know. I am going to do this real quick so that way you can come on if you so desire. And let me do that. Let me put that invite into the QR code. I was busy running around the house looking at news and coverage of yesterday's Super Bowl, and I had to revisit the halftime show because I missed the first half, and then I made a judgment on the second half when I was on last night. And so I got some good feedback from a lot of YouTubers and also Instagrammers, because some stuff I didn't understand, and I was like, but people loved the halftime show. People loved it. I was a little out of the loop. I was like, maybe it wasn't as exciting. But when one of these, I'm going to share this with you guys. This gentleman broke it down. And I was like, wow, now I see it. Now I see it. Oh, Gwendolyn says too. She says it was everything. So obviously, I don't follow his music, so I did not know about the rivalries. I knew just through the grapevine. I did not know, but also they did so many. What's the coding? Could I call it coding? Elise says it was genius, and what I mean by coding is like this. Back in the day when slavery. When the slaves used to try to do messaging, they would do messaging through the cornrows in the hair, the songs. So they were always communicating with one another because of these amazing codes that they embedded into different ways of life. Well, it turns out that that's what was happening at the Super Bowl, that they were dissing Mega, and Mega didn't even know it. And again, I didn't even know. I was like, wow, now it makes sense. So shout out to all the Instagrammers out there that gave us highlights for the folks that did not understand what was going on. I just knew some clips. I knew it was I knew it was a play on freedoms and liberty and the United States and the government. You saw but I didn't understand it. So I was at a disadvantage, but people loved it. I see also more from you. Elise says, I'm ready to talk about the halftime show. Okay, so I'm going to send this out to our wonderful our panel, wonderful panel that is here every day, and because they have more insight than I do, and I would love to hear what they have to say. Yes, Gwendolyn, I'm calling you on, and I wonder if Dr. Tachi's around. I'm gonna put her in here anyway. She's gonna say, Ron summoned me again. So I put that out there because I know she knows me. She knows what's going on in the world. I'm a geek. I'm a science geek. I'm not a hip hop geek. So I just sent that out to you guys. Elise says, okay, I'll talk to her. And then Kelly A says, hi, everyone. Sorry, Kelly A. Kimmy Kim says, hi, everyone. And I see the loves. I see the love. Again, GR says, Miss Houston says, the show was everything. Danette has some good words here. Kendrick left a message for those who are ready to listen. Speak, G, speak. Elise says, it was genius. It was genius. Anthony says, I loved it. He says he loved it. Oh, Elise says, send me the link. Send me the link. I want to be on. I got something to say. So Elise is setting up and behind. If she's behind the desk, and she'll be here shortly. I see here Bryson says, Kendrick Lamar halftime show was a masterpiece. And Samuel L. Jackson did Uncle Sam. And SZA and Mustard Drake fans are upset. And Drake in the closet right now crying in the mirror. Holy moly. I did not know the rivalry was so strong between these two until I learned the history this morning. Don Lemon did a great breakdown as well, all the people that were there. I mean, I did not know. And now I know. I've been educated. So I'm glad that this happened so I can be educated. Now I want to listen to more of his music. I never listened to his music, but now I do. Danette says, K. Dot was the teacher and we were ready to learn. Wow, look at that. Kelly says, yes, I've learned a lot from the breakdowns, but I did understand some of it. And Bryson says, again, what up, Ken? What's up, Gwendolyn? Okay, Kendrick played in that orange man. YouTube American Face, I think YT American Face, love every bit of it. They say Trump left he left, couldn't handle it. He said yes he did, Jazzy. And GR says, I'm coming. Miss Gwendolyn says she's coming. Elise says, pull Dr. Tachi in. I sent her a text. Jazzy says, this is why I have been and forever will be a fan of K. Dot. I'm going to start listening to his music. I got to start listening to his music. Lee says, exactly, GR Houston Jack. And man, you guys are chatting up a bot. You guys are going crazy here. Kim says, some expecting a bit more flashiness, but it was. Yeah, see, I was expecting a little more flashiness. Did not know that there was an overall message. When I'm telling you, when this guy breaks it down, one of these, I think he said he was the husband of the singer. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm going to share that with you guys. Man, but let me get these folks on here. Let me get Elise. Elise is in the background waiting. She's waiting patiently. Here she is. Miss Elise is in the building.
Hey, I was back here going, pull us in, pull us in.
Yes.
I've been going all night with this. I was like, oh, that was absolute genius. Absolute genius.
Wow.
The use
What
of
now?
the
What stood
slang,
out for
everything.
you? What stood out for you?
Everything. Like first of all, the use of Samuel Jackson as
Mm,
Uncle Sam. You needed to understand that. It wasn't just about Uncle Sam, it was also about his character in Django Unchained. So
yes.
the house.
Yes. Yes. Now I got it. Yes. From the
You got to get that
movie.
part. So I was like, my husband, I was so excited. My husband was just looking at me like, girl, what are you talking about? I said, you got to understand the symbolism. And then the
Really?
American flag being built on the blacks are black people. Come on. People didn't people. If you don't understand, you don't understand. And I was like, you gotta, I'm older, but Kendrick's music, the lyrics, it was people are like, oh, the Drake beat. That wasn't that really wasn't the
No,
focus.
that wasn't the
That was in
focus.
there. The focus was what did he say as he started that song? 40 acres and a mule.
Yes.
He started it out like that. He wanted y'all to know what he was talking about. And so, and even to the last song, some of the lyrics in the last song when he was talking about what they were doing with our children. Every one of those songs had a message in it, and everything that he did on that stage had a message. It's like it was powerful. He did a genius job. And anyone that didn't understand that was looking for, I don't know, fireworks or whatever, he gave you fireworks, you just didn't understand it.
Well, you guys, I mean, like I said, I got educated, and it would be I thought I saved this thing, and it is not here. Maybe I put it in focus. I was like, maybe put it in another folder, but it was yeah. I guess I didn't save it, but this guy broke it down so well this morning, and I thought, sure, I saved it.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I save stuff on here and it doesn't save on Instagram, even though I'm intending to save it. But here's Gwendolyn. She's setting up. She's getting ready. We're gonna get the tornado in here. Miss Tornado. Should I just call her Hurricane?
Come on. I mean, if you didn't understand the messages in there, just the pure genius behind that, even the setup. And I was like, everything was such a setup for me. When they did that picture, and even though it was set up like a game thing, when they drew that picture back, that message was to somebody else. Did you notice that it was an X on the field?
Yes.
Did y'all get the messages?
But then they share with they said that the field, those squares represent prisons.
Yeah.
Someone said that, it was representing prisons. So there was so many levels of informing and educating. And then there were MAGA lost their minds last night. MAGA folks lost their minds.
There were folks in tears, I'm sure.
They hated that the black folks were doing this. It was black from the beginning, black to the end. The people on the field were black. The Negro National Anthem, black. The Star Spangled Banner sung by a black man, black. The choirs were black. The people dancing on the floor was black.
It was blackity black yesterday.
They said, this one girl said, happy history. She said, happy black. She said, happy African American February.
I think even going back to Jay-Z picking him, was intentional.
Yeah.
When you think about it, and Black history, they say we're not gonna do Black history. He said the revolution will be about to be televised.
Yeah, the revolution is about to be televised. That's what he said.
The right.
He said, but the right time you chose the wrong guy.
That was a mic drop. I said, "Oh, he finna show out."
Oh man,
he's about to show out. But
before you guys start, before you ladies dive in, because there's some folks in here, they've been chiming in. So let's get the chimers.
Yeah.
The community is in. The community is sharing. I see. Let me just go where I left off. It was a bigger than. Oh, okay, there it is. Jazzy says it right here. Here we go. It was way bigger than the Drake moment. And then obviously Lee says much bigger, Jazzy, much bigger. Then Chrissy says it pronounced like scissor. Scissor. Thank you. Cause I was just going like SZA.
Sound like my husband. He's scissor.
Bryson says you have to listen to his music. I am going to listen to his music. Because he has he probably is going to have a new fan, because so many people I learned so much because I was on here last night,
Right.
at midnight. So, and I got off, went to bed, but then I got up early because I went to bed on time. So I got up early. It was about 5 o'clock, and I started doing some things. And then I started getting into. I said, you know what? Because I want to say stupid me, but stupid me was looking for the Super Bowl on channel 2, 4, or 7. And I kept flipping. I was like, where's the Super Bowl? And then I asked my Alexa, I said, Alexa, where is the Super Bowl on? It said Fox. I said, oh, I missed some of the Super Bowl. So I went to, I just missed a part of the beginning of the halftime show. So this morning, I went in and looked at the whole thing twice because I wanted to be able to hear it and understand what was going on. And especially after after I saw the Instagrammers who posted their meanings and interpretations of what was going on the field. And now it made sense. It clicked after you know I'm going.
Right.
Anyway. Okay. So Kimmy says, yes, familiar with Kendrick a bit, but I learned a lot too from all the explanations on social media. See, I'm not alone. Dr. Tachi's in the building. Dr. Tachi, get those rollers out of your hair and come on.
That's funny.
What in the world?
Well, right. I know Gwendolyn's gonna say something, but if you go back and look at some of Kendrick's performances, he also and even when you see some pictures of him, he performs sometimes with a crown of thorns.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am now going to get in. Oh, look, my son is in the building. I know Adrian knows about him. Adrian, you're more than welcome to pop one too. But like I said, I'm just learning this guy's music. And I notice what the heck? I love music, and I want to now dive into his lyrics, because the lyrics, people, when I was going through all of the feeds, people were just exploding. People were in bars, like the whole bar was singing his songs and knew his lyrics, and I was like, wow, this guy, obviously he won a Pulitzer Prize, and he's he's an elite artist.
Well, if I may just add,
go ahead,
because so it's the small things that bring us together. He also stutters, so I had to be like, all my biases show up. They all show up. But what was interesting about some of the comments, because my sister and I discussed this, it's like any other message. It will not resonate if you are not prepared to hear it. There are folks that are really asleep right now that look like us. Okay. There are folks who are sleeping. There are people, and I think Anthony mentioned it, who really wanted Lil Wayne. Okay, no offense. He about that coonery. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't need that yesterday. We needed somebody to come out. And if I could just look at Uncle Sam's part, where he was like, everything he said, that's not how you play the game. You don't want to be too ghetto. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's that part. Yes, that was good.
Are we doing that? Are we doing that today? I was like, I am here for all of it. Every single visual. And there was so much, because there were like messages in the crowd as well. Yeah. Right? With like all the lights, and like I had to go back and play it again. I watched it again this morning a couple of times. I mean, like,
I wasn't the only one. Okay, so I feel thank you, Gwendolyn, because I know if you looked at it several times, because for those, she is my work wife, and I know her very well. Gwendolyn, nothing like that path. She is very attentive to verbal language. She is in tune to the language. The girl knows she knows every T that's crossed, every I that's dotted, every period that's on a sentence. This is Gwendolyn. So if she went back to look at it again, that meant
because I love my work husband. Even when Ron tries to shade me and act like I'm not gonna pick up whatever he's putting down. Yes, I'm picking it up, whatnot. I'm picking it up. But no, you really want to see it. You do have to watch it a couple of times, because there's so many things going on. But if you were like base level understanding, the clothes that they picked, that red, white, and blue
Right.
on the stairs as a flag.
And they were all wrapped in them. They were wrapped in the white. They were wrapped in the blue, and they were wrapped in the red. And the wrappings themselves meant something. This was intense. Like I said, I learned something, and then now once you start learning what's going on, then your brain juices start going. And then I said, "Oh wow, I see this," and then I see that. I'm sure I saw things that other people didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
Go
The
ahead,
folks who were upset with it, and I hate to use the word upset, people who were not satisfied.
They're angry because they're racist. Some of them are racist. Some of them are prejudiced. Some of them are whatever.
There are people who looked at us who are like, oh, he didn't do the dancing. He didn't do this. And I wish I had. It's like, those are the folks who are going to have to go through a few more things to get it. Right? Again, messages can come to you, but they don't resonate. Now, I don't want to talk about the church, but I'm going to do it real quick. You can sit in church all day long. You're not going to hear the message, probably because you weren't called. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be called to the Lord. I hate to say it like that. I'm going to say it like that. You're there every Sunday, but it's not clicking for you. And there are some people who saw that yesterday who look like us, and it wasn't clicking for them. They're not ready. It's okay, though. Now, all them other people who got a couple white tears, there were some white folks who was mad yesterday. Get mad. You're in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
Hello. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry. No. Be upset. Be upset about it.
Yeah.
It was black yesterday.
It was black from the start to the finish. And John Baptiste was on that piano.
Yes.
And Lettucey sang that song with all her heart with that black choir. Come on now.
And the band.
And the band.
Let me say
like
I'm saying
black.
How
America.
can you, I mean, and I thought about this when people talk about, and as you say, Miss Elise, they say DEI. You should say, so you're against diversity and inclusion and equity. But imagine the world without all of this diversity, all of the flavors that we bring.
Right.
Beyond the cookout, because we don't do potato salad and raisins. We bring so much to the table. Can you imagine a world without all this flavor and all the different complexities? I mean, and all the shades, all of that beauty. I said, Lord bless. I can't have. This is a time to be alive right now. This is it.
Like last night lifted a lot of spirits. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people who were watching that who were feeling all kinds of ways. But when they saw that, they were like, "Come on now, we needed this to energize us, to get us to feel something."
It's why folks stay hating on us. It's why they stay hating.
Well, the media queen is in the building. The media and entertainment queen is in the building.
Listen, you called it right when you said take the rollers out of your hair because the hair was all over the place. I was like, sir.
I said, you gotta come on. You gotta come on. This is right up your alley. You are the media queen. So, and you, and being that you are, I mean, you and Elise are, and Gwendolyn, you are, all three of you are educators. All of you have taught students, people. Right. You guys, all three of you are educators. So I want to know your perspective, knowing your history. You are a part of sorority. You know Black culture. You're not only an American, African American, like from through American birth, but you are also Nigerian. You came on a plane, you came here with your family, and you now are part of society, and you contribute to society. You made amazing inroads into what we do here, and you have made a mark on American culture and society in your own way. Now, from that, I just had to say that. I had to lay the groundwork of who you are. Who are you?
I hope I don't disappoint with my next statement. Anyway, let me start from the beginning. Ron, you said that they lost their mind. It follows you have to have a mind to lose for it to be lost, and they don't. They have a collective brain. If you So that's notwithstanding. So going back to the beginning, this was my initial thought when I heard that Kendrick Lamar was going to be the Super Bowl halftime show. I was intrigued and wondering why, because he was it last year or 2 years, 2 Super Bowls ago, where he was with Dr. Dre and the whole California crew. So I'd only seen him as part of a whole collective of performers. So I was wondering, okay, so now this is just him. How is this going to go? Usually they go for something a little more flashy, a little more glitzy in the traditional sense. So I was wondering why. I still don't know why, but I know that I was satisfied to everything, all that you said, all of you, 100%. I see this as, well, I've used Kendrick Lamar's work in my teaching for a while. So so actually, when it came to just simple things, for example, editing, if you look at his video, We're Gonna Be All Right, I actually use that to teach technique and to say, now, what are the things you see here? Now,
See, I knew there was a reason why you had to come once. See, I knew. Go ahead.
So
sorry.
no, absolutely. So from that, and then also looking at it from a messaging sense. So I've used it both from a technical sense in terms of the music video, and then to for my other communication students, the messaging sense. So I've been like tuned in and turned on to him for quite a while, for a number of years, since like the 2010s. So I've been kind of following him for a little while. So I think this was an interesting choice, and it was a great choice. So now going back to, we're talking about Samuel L. Jackson, and definitely his character in Django Unchained, in terms of you're a little too, too ghetto for all of this. But then going back to his character in Do the Right Thing as the radio, what's the radio DJ.
Announcer?
Okay,
Yeah.
the announcer, yes. So going back to that in terms of looking at what he was saying there. So there's a lot of symbolism in a lot of the characters he's done. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. I know this is about to be a revolution. The moment you see Samuel L., you know that words are going to be said. So then looking at the red, the white, the blue, and how it is a symbol of freedom, but then it is also a symbol that has been used to choke. And you see that in a lot of the different moves, in a lot of the choreography, whether it was in exactly.
Yes.
So you see this American flag that becomes like almost a noose or a tourniquet in a sense, cutting off things. Yes, exactly. A straight jacket. A lot of the movement, that straight jacket.
That's what they were all wrapped like straight jackets. And when they're moving around, they're moving like this. They're trying to get this, they're trying to get their freedom, but they're moving and they're making this beautiful, composition of body movement as a collective, as a single. They're stranded, they're together, they're single by themselves. They are locked in and restrained. But as a collective, even in their restraints, they create a powerful message.
Absolutely. And then Anthony and a couple of Adrian and a couple of other people mentioned about the split where the flag split.
The American flag.
Absolutely. Yes. The American flag splits. So it represents the divide in America. It represents lots of different divides, the divisiveness in ideologies that are being put out there that causes us to divide. But that's even among Black people. Everybody there was a Black person in the flag, and we're looking at that divide. So you can look at that metaphor in a number of different senses. Absolutely. The choreography was spot on. And then I put in the chat the whole thing. People may have questioned, okay, SZA, why is she there? There were only like 2 songs that she had. Okay, but if you remember, the song that they sang first was the theme from Black Panther. So there was every reason for SZA to be there. It made 100% sense. The whole evening was just blackety black, and I'm happy to see people squirm. I was
Oh, yeah.
I was very pleased to see squirming and discomfort. And here's the thing: the people who know, and that's always going to be the case. We got it. We understood what it was
Mhm.
about. But there's some people I don't quite get it. What is this about? I don't get it. And you're not going to, because you choose not to. So it was very ethereal. It was very contextual. It was extremely high level. And I love it,
It was.
but it has to go beyond symbolism, because the people who needed the message didn't get it.
So
True.
can we say it was cerebral?
Cerebral, yes.
Cerebral, yeah,
Cerebral. It was
definitely.
definitely cerebral. Adrian, I sent you a Gmail invite, so if you want to still come on. I see.
And I think,
Let me go ahead.
go ahead.
Elise, go ahead. I'm just
When
going to
people
keep
talk about,
clicking.
oh, there was no dancing, but you can't, that choreography, I don't know what they were looking for, but that choreography
dancing was great.
on point. It was
No,
where it needed to be.
They were looking for tap dancing. They're looking for the
That's what they were looking
stereotypical
for.
shucking and
Shucking,
jiving.
jiving, yeah.
Nothing wrong with tap dancing.
Yeah.
I love tap.
I love
But
tap
they're
dancing.
looking for that typical what makes them comfortable. This made them hella uncomfortable.
And
Kimmy
twerking,
says, I
they were
love.
looking for all that scantily clad women and twerking. That's not, those women were fully covered. They might have had a little midriff on, but they were covered.
Well, let me go through some of these. Anthony says the PlayStation Control and Squid Game references were fire. Then he says also, Anthony says also Lil Wayne's. Oh, let me put this up on the screen. And so we got that, and then we get this one. He said Lil Wayne's views of racism alone is enough. He doesn't speak on it because he says he never experienced it. I'm from New Orleans, and I'm not hurt that he didn't get to do the show. Jay-Z got it right. And next, Jazzy says, honestly, if they were upset because he wasn't dancing, etc., they have never really watched his performances. All of his performances have messages. Go back and watch his 2016 Grammys performance. And then Kimmy says again, best message, don't let others take you down. Media, music, companies, people, etc. What's going on, Sonny Boy? I see you in the building.
Hi, Adrian.
I know you are. He is. This young man is very cerebral. So, what did you get out of it, sir?
No, for me, first of all, it's an honor to be part of this illustrious panel. All the educators and the symbolisms that you all have already mentioned. For me, it was just. In my mind, I was just enjoying the moment, right, and enjoying the blackness of it all. But I was fighting with the resistance of enjoying it and also saying to myself, they ain't gonna let this happen again next year. I'm like 25 in the building watching this. I know he was just thinking, looking around the room like, we ain't finna let this happen again. Well, you ain't gonna say finna, but you know. But the thing about Kendrick is that everything that so you all know, I'm a pastor, so I prepare lessons and sermons. And when you're doing that and you have to study, and you're studying different books of the word. You're not just studying the word, you're studying what other people have already done the studying for and breaking down. And I'm like, so like if I'm in the Old Testament, I'm breaking down what's being said in the Hebrew. If I'm in the New Testament, what's being said in the Greek and what did it actually mean? Like there are people there, you have to have a concordance for Kendrick's entire bibliography of the work that he's done, because there are always things that are. And he's so intentional that what we also have to do is, because sometimes people will mistranslate because they're trying to find something that doesn't exist.
Yes. Right.
And it's like, let's be intentional about also finding what the intent is behind it. But he's speaking to, sometimes I feel like he's only speaking to us. And I think that he's speaking to us in one way, and it's a warning to his community. But it's also a warning to the community outside of us to say, listen, we're not dumb. We know exactly what you're doing, how you're trying to do it. We're fully aware and we're fully capable of resisting where resistance needs to be done. Not everybody is completely ignorant to the fact that there's a game and there are some puppet masters and we just trying to cut the strings, right? So there's a lot that's going on there, and I'm just sitting there like, man, do your thing, bro. Just do your thing.
That's how you do it. It's like, and then on the subject of Lil Wayne, because I know it just flashed by, you know, he supports the current person, and he got pardoned by him in his last term.
Yes.
And so him, I understand he was from New Orleans, but I don't think he would have interested me to watch. And my thing about Kendrick was, my only concern was like, is he gonna just feel free enough to be himself? And I felt that he was free. He felt free enough to be himself.
But so I have two opinions of it. Like his messaging from beginning to end was, it had a purpose all along the way. And so to have somebody like Lil Wayne or Baby or Juvenile, to me, was a missed opportunity. I felt like there was an opportunity to have, you're in New Orleans. There are a number of great artists that came out of New Orleans that could have been deposited. Again, we're giving him credit for being as intelligent, as brilliant, as cerebral as he is. So there could have been an opportunity for him to weave in somebody from the area without taking away from the message that he was trying to
I get that. Yeah.
In my
So the only, I can agree with that if some of those people were not complete Ronald McDonalds. I think it would have detracted from the message. The only person I can in New Orleans is D1, and they would probably be like, heck no. He's the only one that I could see that would fit within this the scope of the message. I think it would have watered it down had they come on with their bojangled foolishness, even just to give them a chance. You've shown us you don't deserve a chance because you're not on our side. I'm not going to give you an inch because you've already taken the rug out from underneath our feet. So no, stay there and see the New Orleans. Have your gumbo and have a good day, sir.
Go ahead, say that, Dr. Tachi. And sometimes, like, you have to think about whether you have to be very, very careful. Like Lil Wayne would have never been a person I would have wanted him to have on that stage.
Yes.
And then you also have to say how much you compromise your message. What do you think is important? I think that what he did last night was so important, just to feed the soul and spirit of people right now. Because I think that's what a lot of the people who got it, that's what happened with them. And I think Daisy talked about the prison yard, and Lisa mentioned it. And the prison yard scene, like when you see it, those were the ones in blue and white. They had on white shirts and blue bottoms. That was a prison yard for those who want to know where it is when they go back and watch it again. That's where it was. But I think, like you said, Adrian, from the beginning, from the first thing, this is your uncle, and he paused, that had that little pregnant pause and said, Sam. From that beginning to the end, to that last part, you have to go back and listen to it again, because you start picking up more and more language out of it. That's why I listen to things, because I don't want to miss the words and to really get all the intentionality, because that very last song, it talked about the attack on our children, young people. And I think to go back, you may have to go back and listen to that so that you catch it.
Lisa's saying some positive, some really amazing things here. Lisa says the Squid Game stage, which symbolizes the rich killing the poor. And then she brings up also the stage also being a prison yard where his Black performers harmonized while he rapped.
There was a list that I'd seen online. A number of those things we've already kind of gone through. Whereas like Samuel playing Uncle Sam, or the house, because from Django, we heard you talk about earlier, also giving the warning that to white America, for blacks to not be ghetto, which is also, I'll get to that. Then Squid Game stage, the dancers in red, white, and blue, the stage being the prison yard, Serena crip walking. After everybody said she was ghetto for crip walking.
Yes,
Kendrick,
at Wimbledon, right?
exactly.
Right.
The A minor chain, which was not lost on anybody. That lowercase A, and having that poor Drake. He must be in the sunken place right now.
You know he is.
Everybody was saying Drake is in the sunken place. He's on tour right now in Australia. So
well, he's too busy suing people too. He's too busy suing.
Sorry,
yes.
but he's on the other side of the world to avoid people around here. The others, like, you can't get further away other than space. He's like, I can't mess with it.
Wow. So, I mean, I'm just gonna check the time.
Oh yeah.
This. Go ahead, Adrian.
No, I'm just kidding, because SZA and Serena both dated Drake, so he had two.
Right.
Yes, his exes on the stage.
Two of his exes on the stage with him.
Yes.
Savage, just savage.
It is savage.
You know what? May I say something too?
Yes.
That, I mean, I delight in such things. So yes, be on the stage dancing while your ex is squirming. Yes, I delight in such things. However,
you know he was watching it.
The ultimate housewives.
Exactly. But you know what? This is a thing too. I think things like that are a perfect example of what Pan-Africanism can be. Until this segment of Black people are free, nobody is free. So I think this needs to start to be a metaphor for performances in other places amongst other sectors of Black people. It's not that it hasn't been going on, but like using that as a starting point and saying this is, it's not just about Blackness in America. This is Blackness worldwide. And we have to stop seeing ourselves as separate or different from each other. We're Black. We all emanated from the same place. I don't give a damn if you say we're all Africans. Some of you don't like to be African. That's fine. When the Great African Train comes, don't get on board because there's no seat for you. So
they didn't get the VIP pass.
And again, the halftime show, I don't know if you've covered this in previous episodes of this show, but it was because of Black people, right? It was the Wayans brothers during the halftime.
Yes, there would be no halftime show ever. Yes.
And the very next year they did, and they was like, all right, we're gonna get Michael Jackson. we can't play these
right. That's what they said too.
But again, is this whole thing of, unfortunately, the MAGA folks, the white racists that are among us, because not all white people are racist. They, believe it or not, probably the numbers, we look at numbers and we look at stats, the racists are a small number, but they just have loud voices. However, there are those that sympathize and they don't know their place. But
I think
it's interesting.
I just want to interject right here on that statement. I want you to go look at Jane Elliott and see what she says about white people and prejudice.
Gotcha. But it's definitely something that, I mean, what's his name? I forgot the comedian. He did a whole thing this morning about all the achievements of Black people. He said Black people should be angry. There's a reason, with all the torture and the pain that Africans have endured globally in this country, you would think we would be the angriest people on the planet. However, he went down and we all know, because it's African, it's Black History Month, and I've been posting and reposting. You cannot have an America without Black people. There would be no America. The wealth of America, Black people. The inventions, Black people. The creations, Black people. The navigating, Black people. Everything that America's foundation, America, as we see it, even to this day, as the years have unfolded over the 450 years, Black people have continually contribute. There would be, if they did a movie and called it The Absence of Black People, the absence of Africa, the Africans, and start, how they do in those old footages, and they start disappearing, things start disappearing as, They need to do something like that. Some film person needs to do it.
Actually, I auditioned for a play. You guys know I have a musical theater background, but I auditioned for a play called The Day of Absence. And that's about the day after all the Black people disappeared. So look it up. It's called The Day of Absence. Yeah.
I'm definitely, I mean, it would be amazing to see that would be such a strong message to people that don't understand that African culture, African people have brought so much to the world. Think about it. In Europe, they didn't even know how to bathe. I know that sounds strong, but some people may get upset.
Still don't wash their legs.
But it was the Moors. It was the Moors that taught them how to bathe. It was the Moors that taught them how to build the arches and how to build the buildings and the streetways and all. The Moors taught them about the aqueducts. The Moors did so much for Europe. Europe was barbaric, if they would say. The Greeks would call them barbarians. I'm just saying the Greeks called them the barbarians. Yes, if you were from the Europe, the Central Europe, you were considered a barbarian. Because they were like, oh, the barbarians, they're filthy, they stink. That's what the Greeks would say about the rest of Europe. But the Moors brought education. The Moors brought mathematics as well as the people from Central America. So, man, I mean, if you took away Black people, Africans, I just wanted to say the Africans, from all over the globe, even in Russia, they celebrate their great literature. I forgot his name. He's a rock star, and he's Black. He is the king of their literature in Russia. I'm just saying. Okay, go ahead, Doctor.
Yeah. No. You're absolutely correct. To this day, which is why Spain has such a disdain for for all things Africa, because of the conquest of the Moors. But to Adrian's point in terms of including people, so somebody mentioned that the pre-show had a fair amount of New Orleans representation and Louisiana representation. I think this is another thing that could have been done if we're going to include people, not those Negroidian charlatans, but if we're going to include people, I would have loved to have seen Southern University's band as the backdrop for that. They could have played the music for that. I think that would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to the discussion we're having. I do want to bring up something that I thought was really funny. I follow this kid. He's not a kid. He's 22 years old, but he's a kid to me. And I love what he does online. So here, he's going to give you the reactions of folks, and it's really cool. Harry, love Harry. Hold on a second. Oops.
Again, after the Super Bowl tonight, man, this guy is just so jealous of her. He said, quote, "The only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift. She got booed out of the stadium. MAGA is very unforgiving." It really is pathetic how Taylor Swift just existing bothers Donald Trump. Like, he will always take the opportunity to go after her and make it about himself in some capacity. Taylor Swift got booed. She's going to be just fine. That stadium was full of people who love Donald Trump. I mean, it is the wealthiest Americans in the country who get to go to the Super Bowl for the most part. So Taylor Swift is sitting there and she's getting booed by a bunch of wealthy MAGA people who love Donald Trump. You know, I just have this feeling that she's going to recover. She's going to be just fine. Donald Trump is just very clearly upset because, number one, Taylor Swift is more liked, more successful, and more famous than he is. And number two, the quarterback who likes him, Patrick Mahomes, lost. And the quarterback who hates him, Jalen Hurts for the Eagles, won. And that obviously has very much gotten to him. Donald Trump.
So there's a lot of more of that footage of, he's not the only white guy talking like this. There are so many people out there. But there is also footage, I don't have it here, but the footage of all the boos that were going on in the stadium as Trump is arriving into the stadium. people are losing their minds. There's this one video where this guy is screaming so hard, I thought he was gonna bust a blood vessel. His booze and his hatred. He was saying, "Traitor, traitor!" He was losing his mind, and I thought his blood vessel. So obviously, this performance and this whole thing of everything being black really got under the skin of so many people, but also Trump being there was such a mockery of the whole moment and self-centered. They said they had to spend $10 million extra because he showed up.
Mhm.
Now, if you really care about America and the money and the money that people are putting out, you wouldn't be costing the country $10 million when you can just stay home at the White House. So anyway, just wanted to throw that in.
He said, "Why would?"
And if you want to go so bad, you pay for it.
Exactly.
Exactly. Let him pay for it.
Can I add something really quick? Because you were just saying how, like, with the history that we have, we would be some really angry people, right? Like sometimes I find that rage coming out. And we can see that those who are in the MAGA cult have this idea that if persons of color ever got in control, they would do exactly what they have done to everybody else. We're just not that hateful. Like I don't rock in those spaces. I don't rock there, right? So when I see events like this and I see us out there, it just reminds me that so many of us are able to move in this extremely hateful country with love and compassion in our hearts and joy. And even us, again, having that joy, being like Serena, crip walking, it makes them angry because they don't get it. They don't understand how can you be an oppressed people and still be so happy, right? There is just no understanding about it. But when I see things like from Trump and people who follow in his footsteps, and, you know, we're in a military family, so we get the alerts, and we got the alert about the Army Women's Museum being removed from the overall military museum website, their own website coming down. I thought to myself, how small and mediocre must you be to try to erase history of women who have served in the military, of veterans and Black people who have served in the military, trans people. I thought to myself, now I have never been one to be in the military. I got a real bad attitude. I would not have made it, right? But for anybody to put their life on the line so that your bitch ass can have rights, how dare you try to erase them, right? Remove their history. Same thing with NASA, removing all talks of women leadership at NASA.
You're just erasing history. What is? I'm like, you can't change it. There were women in charge. There were Black people that were there. There's nothing you can do about it. But again, when you operate in spaces of mediocrity where you never have to be more than this to succeed, now you have people who have had to work 20 million times harder to get where they are. So of course they're going to surpass you. I have to suppress because I can't win by my skill. I can't win by my knowledge because I don't have it. I've never had to develop it. In fact, if I was non-melanated, I would be livid that the very best you expect from me is that we don't expect much from them. I would be livid. That is all you are good for and all that they expect of you. I would try 10 times harder to, no, I'm not. I'm actually better than this. I would be livid that is the discourse that they have set up for you. That's so sad. I actually pity those. I actually pity you.
Yeah.
It's no more. It's nothing more fragile than the white male person. I mean, they're fragile. They're mediocre and they're fragile. They know
Butterfly
that there's
wings.
so many people who are so outstanding, especially amongst us. Like their whole thing is that fear of what if they ever decide to do what we did to them? Well, we ain't got time for that.
And it doesn't cross the minds of. I mean, I'm sure there's some some obscure people, but no one thinks that way.
But see, they it's the whole thing of people thinking because they have these horrible thoughts that other people think the way they do, because but it's their insane thoughts. It's them. They're the ones thinking that, and they're still trying to figure out. Yeah, we all on this platform here looking at each other. They're trying to figure out why and how we still exist. How do we continue to thrive? We're not just surviving; we're thriving.
Yeah.
We're helping our young people thrive, and that's what we have to focus on. Like Kendrick said, we got to focus on our young people too. But that's their whole thing. And then and if we took that day, not just disappear, and I keep saying, I know this everybody's circulating the white guys thing about not going to work. I have said for the last few years, if we just all could be unified enough for the majority of us not to show up at work, you could shut this entire country down. There wouldn't be any planes moving. Amtrak would definitely not move because all of their conductors are almost Black. If you just decided not to do anything, DC would shut down. All of these cities would shut down unless they're in someplace in the Midwest where they're not doing much anyway. But every place else, they couldn't get out if they were trying to take a plane, though.
And the southern
TSA,
state, even
we know
the
who's working TSA, right?
Southern towns
Think
too.
about that.
I mean, you think about how many people. Again, this is the whole the fight of getting rid of all these jobs in the federal system is because they are a majority people of color, mainly Black. So they want to get rid of that mechanism. It is the federal government, because of the 1964 Act, that opened up these doors for Black folks to get wealth. That's where all that wealth came from, and it created an amazing, strong middle class, and where people were making good money. And so now they feel like that was a threat. We should have had those jobs. That's what they're thinking. And we want to take that back because they want to stalemate all the accomplishments, and they do not want to see growth going forward.
But if
They
you look
will never win. They will never win.
The jobs, like, I have to go back to NASA. If it were not for those Black women,
they wouldn't have made it to the moon.
They would still be trying to figure that out. They'd be trying to figure out the math. They'd be trying to figure out the technology. That woman went on, that Octavia Spencer Page, she went on to be the head of that division on those computers.
That's right. Because
of her abilities to do Fortran. So when we look at that and we look at the power that we have, the GPS, the things that Black women and Black men have invented that we deal with every day. Your cell phone, all that stuff wouldn't be working if it wasn't for Black people. So they know that. They know they didn't have the intellect to do it. And that's the problem. They want it, and they know that now, as we get, once Black people, the African Americans, the former enslaved people started understanding, I can get a patent, so I put my name on it. Then that's when they were like, well, so I can't just take their stuff, because now they know how to protect their stuff and it's in their name. Because my children had a first grade. I love this teacher, and that's why I ended up doing the papers in my class. She had her children do, every year they would do Black Inventions t-shirts. So she actually had the patents, and the children would draw pictures on their t-shirts every year. The year my daughter was in first grade, there was a white parent in there because they drew a picture of a toilet. And he said, no, Black people didn't invent the toilet. She said, but they invented the flush.
Oh. The
reason it flushes is because they invented the flush. And she pulled out the patent number for it.
See, but to your point, it's like that we are creating the bones of things. When we look at the light bulb and Lewis Latimer, without the carbon filament, there is no light. So Edison just invented the glass.
The glass.
Great. So we look at
Jack Daniels. For all those that like
yes.
Jack Daniels.
Right. Now you have
exactly.
Yeah. Now you get to talk about Uncle Nearest, right?
Exactly. A lot of it comes out of necessity. Some of it comes out of ingenuity. There was this, a lot of it comes out of ingenuity. There was this post that I was looking at this morning that talked about architecture. And I remember very well when I was in undergrad, and they were showing architecture and how the professor, never mind. This professor said that African it was showing a picture of some African architecture, and you said you could see how primitive it is. I was like, I mean, I sat up straight. I'm not that tall, but I got to be 10 feet tall that day. And I went and told my, I was like, Mommy, this is what they said in class, and she was livid. But and this is in college, okay? So you can imagine if you're at the college level and they're teaching this rubbish. But today I saw this post. I can't remember the creator, but it was talking about how people laugh at the quote primitive nature of African architecture. But when you look at African architecture as a whole, it makes sense to use the materials that are available to you. These buildings have stood for centuries and centuries without problems. And across Africa, there are different types of architecture. And she was showing this type of thing. So, so we're talking about, and I saw in the comments, somebody said, yeah, when a trailer park is your level of standard, of course, you're going to think that other things are primitive. So we've become so used to, in this country, I look at some of these houses, paper mache and popsicle sticks. So you're trying to tell me that that is better than indigenous housing that is mathematically calculated? So when we now bringing this forward to where we are with the hidden figures and all of this, we've always been designed to do math. We've always been builders. We've always known measures and measurements. So this is not a surprise because it's in our blood. This is what we do.
This is what we do. And the greatest of all architecture that the world loves,
those pyramids.
Is in Egypt.
The pyramids,
where they still can't figure out how those Africans did it. And I'm going to go to our first one. If you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes. Hit the likes. The algorithms love the likes, so hit the likes. If you are in the building, please hit the likes and subscribe. And you can also share it with some of your friends and family. But my favorite thing in the world, and I was so happy when I got the history of this, is butter pecan
ice cream.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It has been my favorite ice cream since I can't imagine a time in my life that not eating it, and I love it. If I buy ice cream, it's butter pecan, and to know that a Black man created the butter pecan ice cream, but not only that, the whole process of how it was preserved, because they couldn't preserve the ice cream, but it was because of this Black gentleman, how he was able to make the formula so that you can freeze it and it was keep its substance and the way it, the creaminess of it. Man, we got a lot.
And the story behind it, like, because they didn't want us eating vanilla ice cream.
That's right. That's the history of that. Is that Black people were allowed to have vanilla ice cream because it was white.
And we came up with something better now.
Yeah, we just improved on it.
We improved on it. I mean, when I read that, I was like, I mean, the insanity of racism and bigotry is so mindless.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it is.
That's part of, like, that's why we have to make sure we have enough books, because they can do anything. They're proven right now. They can take a site and wipe all kinds of stuff off.
Yes.
Which they've been doing, right? They've been doing that last week. And so they can take anything down, but if you have it in hard form, or you have downloaded and saved it, you got to download and save some stuff. When we look at Black inventions and the technology, all of the things that Black people did, the street sweeper, they got tired. There's people like, why? I said, because they got tired of sweeping with that broom. So they wanted to make things easier. The refrigerator. And that was the beauty of when I transferred it to my high school students. They learned things they had never learned before. I had students at a school named after Benjamin Banneker, who did not have Black history in there. The teachers weren't teaching them Black history, but they were in a school called Benjamin Banneker. I had them do those papers. Now I was making sure that a whole group of Black children knew about Black inventors, scientists, mathematicians, and inventors. That I made sure that at a school that was training DCs supposed to be the most elite public high school students, and 90-some% Black, knew none of the history they were learning from, like the real McCoy. And once they learned, I have to tell you this funny story about that one though. So they learned about the real McCoy, which is Elijah McCoy's oiling thing for the train, so they wouldn't burn out, right? So they learned that, and they go to history class. They have a white history teacher, and he tried to say something about the real McCoy, and of course it was not correct. And so they came to me, and I remember I'm teaching math. They came to me, Ms. Stallworth, you know he said this, and I said, so what did you all do? They said we told him the truth. That's how powerful it was for them.
But when you know the truth, you are excited about it. Like I was so excited when I learned that butter pecan ice cream was, Black guy created it, and then learn about how the ice cream was created and how the formula and the formula we still use to this day. And I mean, it's exciting. You know why it's exciting? Because unfortunately, our educational system, which was based under the Confederacy, they're the daughters of the Confederacy. It was above their approval, or whether what we were going to learn in schooling in America. But the beauty of it all is that here we are. I'm 60 and I'm still learning new stuff and new people about who all these amazing Black people, and it blows my mind. I'm saying I get so excited. I get like Adrian knows. I get like when it's history, I lose my mind. I just get like, and to know what, how things are created. When you look at a traffic light, or you look at this, it's sometimes I'm walking down the street. I know this is me. I'm a nerd, and I'm walking down the street, and I go, Black person, Black person, Black person, Black person, African. And I get excited because we are unfortunate. We don't learn it in school. And this is not Black people don't learn it in school. White people don't learn it either. Because if they did, they would have a greater appreciation. Yeah. Adrian, I saw your finger. Oh no, I saw something go up.
I was laughing at Adrian's comment. Pecan.
Exactly.
I want some pecan ice cream when I come to the house.
That is question of pecan or pecans.
Pecan, yes, right.
Pecan.
I had pecans growing in my backyard. I don't know.
My grandparents had a big pecan tree in the backyard. Huge.
A pecan tree.
Pecan.
I promise your grandparents didn't say pecan. They said
my mama said pecan.
That's right. They're pecans. It's spelled just like that. Pecan. Phonetically.
Lisa's sending her corrections. Here she is. There's Lisa.
Pecan.
Yeah, it's spelled phonetically, spelled that way.
No, Ron, not nerd. Celebrating your Blackness. That's right, D-Sab.
Absolutely.
So, guys, I need to give you your Motivation Monday quote, and so we're gonna do that. And so those that are tuning in, and but this was a great discussion. You guys rock. Thank you, Adrian, for popping on. Dr. Tachi, you got those curlers going and got your hat on. You're looking good. And Gwendolyn and Miss Elise.
I got it all going on around my picture, my hat. We 5 fifths all day.
I said, I know they want to talk about the halftime and the Super Bowl, and I because you guys are so intellectual. I knew Adrian because obviously Adrian has 2 boys, and they're young adults now. And I said, there's no way we could talk about anything else but the Super Bowl and the halftime and the messaging, because I knew you guys would know the depths of it. So thank you for filling in my gaps, my learning. You gave me a good learning curve lesson today as well. And it's a blessing to have social media, because you can learn so much from so many people. Like I said, I spent the whole morning learning about, the messaging and the layers of messaging, and the intentional pursuit of what was done yesterday. So that was good. Anyway, I'm gonna have to let you guys go. And we're going to, so don't leave for those that want to be motivated. Today we are talking about our wonderful, and this is just so time. This is for those who are in the Patreon community. You will see this in our Patreon page. So those that want to become Patreon members, you can support what we do here through my Patreon page. That would be great if you want to. And you can just go to the scan the barcode when we're finished, and you'll be able to do that. Let me just get this off the screen, this banner. And where we are. There we go. No more Super Bowl. So now we're talking about working through the world's uncertainty. And this is all about, here we go. There we go. So I just want to give you some encouragement, some encouraging words today, especially for photographers. And if you're a creative in the building, working through the world's uncertainty. Here is an inspiring quote from the legendary photographer Ansel Adams. And for those that know me, know I used to have Ansel Adams all over my house. But anyway, his quote: "You don't take a photograph. You make it." Now, how can that be translated into how we are living as creatives? This profound message from Ansel Adams reminds creatives and photographers that their work isn't just about capturing what's in front of them. It's about creating and expressing their vision, even amidst uncertainty. The world may be unpredictable, but the creative spirit remains a powerful and constant force. Keep pushing forward and keep making your art. Here are a few ways to delve deeper into this idea. Vision and perspective. Number one, every photographer has a unique vision and perspective. The way you see the world, your experience, and your emotions all contribute to how you approach your subjects. When you make photographs, the key word there is make. When you make, not take, when you make a photograph, you're infusing your personal vision into the image, making it a reflection of your inner world. That photo is everything that you are. Storytelling. Photography is a powerful medium for storytelling. By carefully composing your shots, choosing your subjects, and controlling the light, you can convey emotions, narratives, and messages. You're not just capturing a scene, you're crafting a story that speaks to your audience. Number three, creative choices. The technical aspects of photography, such as choosing the right lens, setting the exposure, and framing the shot, are all part of the creative process. These decisions shape the final image and help you express your artistic intent. Each choice you make adds a layer of meaning to the photograph. Next, experimental and innovation. Embracing uncertainty and taking risk can lead to incredible creative breakthroughs, like we just talked about when it came to Black history, right? Taking risk, incredible challenges can create amazing breakthroughs. As a photographer, you have the freedom to experiment with new techniques, perspectives, and ideas. This willingness to push boundaries and explore uncharted territory is what drives artistic growth and innovation. Fifth, the last one here, emotional connection. And this is what we're all going to need as we go forward. A powerful photograph resonates with viewers on an emotional level. By making, keyword again, making a photograph, you're creating a connection between your subject, yourself, and your audience. This emotional bond is what makes your work memorable, and impactful. When you look at all that art out there, it's the emotional bond is what makes your work memorable and impactful. In conclusion, in uncertain times like we are living now, it's important for creatives and photographers to remember that their art has the power to inspire, uplift, and provoke thought. Keep pushing forward. Continue to make meaningful images and let your unique voice shine through. The world needs your creativity now more than ever. You got this. Get out there this week, all you creatives, all you folks out there, you photographers, all you folks out there that are making creative stuff that is going to bless people, give them hope, give them energy, give them joy. Or like yesterday, like Kendrick did. I'm going to pop this up here. Like the halftime show from yesterday, that is art on its highest level. There's something to be said about the artists and the creatives, the photographers. You hold an incredible calling. I always say, being a photographer is a calling. Being a creative is a calling. You get to share messages that people cannot see in their own natural, as they pass by and walk the streets. You cause them to pause, stop, review, and learn. Okay, guys, that is it for today. I hope you were blessed today. I hope you had a good time at our community here. And if you want to come back, make sure you reach out and share some of our, what we do here. And I just wanted to share also some media house stuff. If you are looking for photography lessons, I am signing up some new students. So if you want to do that, get on my list and we can get you a virtual basic photography classes for tutoring. And also, I want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors. One sponsor that really helps here is Rolling Clouds. They are a tobacco cigar company coming soon. Their company is coming soon, but they are big contributors to our Patreon community. And so this is an advertisement for them. And also, let's see here. And obviously the rest of our Patreon community. So make sure that if you want to be a supporter, it takes money to be on here. It takes time to be on here. And you can support what we do here every day during the week on Touch Base Daily. And I promise to, bring you some real education and to bring you people that are going to help you and encourage you and inspire you. That's what it's all about, building community. We are about building community. Thank you guys for, let's see who's in the Instagram world. I see folks in the Instagram. Again, if you are in Instagram, come on over to the YouTube channel, Touch Base Daily, and click on the subscribe, click on the likes so that Instagram's algorithms know that you approve. Okay, guys, have a great week. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I see all the comments in here. And thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are contributing today. Okay, I'm out. Let's do this. Let's get out of here. Let's go. Be motivated. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.